Hey, Martin Truex Jr. has joined us. He is the driver of the number 56 Napa Auto Parts Toyota for Michael Waltrip Racing. And Martin currently right now would be one of our two wild card drivers for the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. And thought we'd bring him in here. Martin, I know you had a busy, eventful week, and maybe talk about that a little bit and just talk about your outlook now. You know, we've got, I guess it's like 6 to go before we cut to the chase, so to speak, but before we really solidify that chase field. And, you know, every race is big, certainly, and that win that you had out at Sonoma, certainly a big deal for you, but I know you would like to get another one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely been a busy week on and off, getting ready for the racetrack here, obviously, and then doing some other stuff. We had a big day for our foundation on Monday at Levine's Children's Hospital in Charlotte, helping Ryan Seacrest open one of his Seacrest studios there. So that was a big day for our foundation. And other than that, just been a busy week trying to work on our race cars, try to figure out how to get better on the flat tracks. The flat tracks have kind of been, where we struggled last week at Indy was definitely a tough weekend, and to come out of there with an 11th place finish, I felt like was a pretty good day, and come in here, trying to be better than last time. We struggled as a group here last time. Our whole company did, and so just a lot of work and effort going into trying to figure out how to be better here, because, like you said, 6 races to go. They're all important. They all count, and we certainly want to get up into that top 10 and hopefully get another win. So I'd rather not be in the wild card position. I'd rather have 2 wins going into the start to chase, and we're going to work hard to try to make that happen.
Questions now for Martin. Let's start back in the back there with Dustin, and then we'll go to Reed, and then Bob.
Well, I mean, I don't think the step they took back, that wasn't our issue. That's not what kept us from running, up at the front. We had issues with our cars handling, just not getting through the center of the corner and not getting in the gas as early as other guys. So, honestly, I don't, our engines were definitely off a little then, but that's not what was keeping us from being fast. Same thing last weekend, same thing this afternoon. So. We're just missing something on the flatter racetracks, Here last time, again, like I said, Indy last week was kind of a struggle for all 3 of our teams throughout the week or throughout the weekend, and just trying to kind of hone in on what it is that we're missing. It's difficult to make gains when you're not really sure what to work on, or you're not really sure what part of the race car that is keeping you from being as competitive as you want. So we're kind of searching. Right now, and we worked on a lot of stuff this week, and feel like we made some gains here this afternoon in race trim, and then we went to qualifying trim. We were slow, so just trying to hash it all out, try to figure it out, and it's difficult to do when you get an hour and a half of practice going into qualifying, because a track like Pocono, it's so big, it takes a while to get in and out, to make some changes, and I think we only ran 9 or 10 laps of practice, so it's definitely difficult to catch up in an hour and a half, but I feel like we made some gains, but we got a lot of work to do tomorrow to get ready for Sunday for sure.
Go ahead, Reed, and then to Bob Pockers.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Martin, with 6 races left, it seems like it'd be tough not to think ahead a little bit. Do you have a game plan for the next 6 races? Anything that any track that you're focusing on in particular? Any place that you've got circled for a potential second win?
I'll be honest with you, after the race we had here back a month or so ago, I felt like Indy and coming back here were going to be the 2. If we could make it through with decent results, not have a bad race, which last weekend, 11th doesn't sound all that good, but for the way our weekend went, it was a good run. Today, this weekend is definitely important. I think if we can get through this race and stay kind of where we are, in touch with the top 10, only a couple points out of that, I think we'll be in good shape. We've got some great tracks coming up for us. Watkins Glen, obviously, really looking forward to that after what we did at Sonoma. Atlanta is coming up. It's one of my favorites. So we've definitely got some places where we can run well. Bristol's been good for us. So I think we just need to get through this one. I feel like we can get another win. before the chase starts, and we're going to work hard to try to make that happen.
Go ahead, Bob.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. Do you take the same car from Sonoma to the Glen next week? And how, I mean, I guess can you kind of look ahead as far as what you feel like your prospects are for next week? And then also, do you consider Richmond as a flat track, or is that not a flat track? And how does that whole play into it, considering everything come down to there?
Yeah, we are taking the same car that we raced Sonoma to Watkins Glen. Obviously, I feel very confident going there. I think in general, throughout my career, Watkins Glen has probably been a better racetrack for me personally than Sonoma has. I've had some really good runs there over the years, and obviously with the success we've had at Sonoma the last couple of years as a group, we're definitely looking forward to going there. So definitely excited about trying to go there and hopefully get a win. That'd be great. There's some guys that are going to be really tough, obviously, that the same guys that are always tough there, but feel like we'll match up well with them. And Richmond, yeah, definitely Richmond will be a big race. It's somewhat flat, but it drives a lot different than a place like New Hampshire or even here at Pocono. The stuff that you use there is completely different. So I think that we can go to Richmond and run well. We have in the past, but we've been hit or miss there too. So that's going to be a big race for us, especially if we're in the same type of position we are now with with relying on the wild card and there's so many guys from 9th, I guess, to 15th or 16th in points that are so close. You don't really want to win that race, having it all on the line on that one night. But if that's what it comes down to, that's what we'll have to fight. But I think we're going to Richmond and test, so that'll be a good thing for us. And hopefully, if it comes down to having to go all in at Richmond, we'll be prepared.
All the way back in the back. Go ahead, sir.
At a recent test at the Glen, they were approaching sports car speeds up there about a second quicker than anything a stock car has run there before. What kind of different challenges is that going to pose for next weekend?
Well, I think that typically this year we've seen, whether it's a tire test or an open, a team test, that you always hear about how fast guys went. And you go back there for the race weekend, it's usually hotter. Just more cars running on the racetrack makes the track have less grip. And so, obviously we'll be definitely faster than last year, I would say, because of the new car, especially on road courses. It really seems to, with the weight brake that we got and the extra downforce, really on the road courses, it's made a lot of difference. So I definitely think we'll be faster than last year. But Watkins Glen is a challenging track in its own, whether you're going, a second's not, I guess, that much to pick up there per lap or 2 seconds. I think this car will drive better there than our old car did just because the center of gravity is going to be a little bit lower, more downforce. I think the biggest challenge will be, whether or not you'll be able to pass as easy as you could before, how much the aero comes into play going up through the S's especially, which is a key spot to set up to pass going into the inner loop. So aerodynamics, as usual, will probably come into play, and we'll have to see how that factors into everything.
Over here to the side. Go ahead, sir.
Matt Catrillo, Blue Ridge 13. Martin, what's one difference that stood out in running the Gen 6 cars here at Pocono in June that you guys took away, especially since you guys, most of your teammates, Michael Waltrip Racing, really struggled here in June?
The biggest thing that stood out is we weren't very good. Last year here with the old car, our team as a group, we were really fast. We had great race cars, lots of speed. I remember, doing the test here, and Mark was the fastest thing here, and we raced right up towards the front of the pack, all three of our cars. And we come here this year thinking, okay, similar things are going to work. We got the same type of mindset, and it just hasn't panned out, and we're not real sure where we're lacking that speed. So it's been difficult, but that definitely the biggest thing that stands out is just, what happened and what are we missing.
Additional questions for Martin? Dustin, back in the back there. Thank you.
Yeah, Martin, you talked about going to Richmond to test. I think you guys got, a Chicago test coming up. Just you guys were an organization that saved their test for the latter part of the season. What's this part going to be like, and the challenges of testing and trying to get into the chase and not wearing your guys out, but also maybe getting some information others aren't going to get?
Yeah, I know. We definitely, we saved our testing, I think, more so because I think earlier in the season we felt like we were you know, we were pretty, I guess, happy about where we stood. We felt like we had some things in the pipeline that were going to be better for us that we were working on, and kind of wanted to save those tests. You know, getting closer to the chase when we were kind of honing in on what kind of race cars we were going to have towards, you know, the later part of the season. And I think that maybe got us behind a little bit the past month. There's been, you know, again, here in Indy has been our struggle, mostly the flatter racetracks, the big, you know, fast flat tracks. But I feel like as a whole, we've kind of lost a little bit of that edge we had earlier in the season at places like Texas and you know, Kansas and Michigan, places where we ran really strong. So I think guys have been doing more testing, hitting on some stuff, and you know, certainly we're looking forward to getting to the racetrack and trying to prove some ideas out. You know, working on some new race cars and hopefully get some time on those to figure some things out, just to find more raw speed. I think as far as the teams go, these guys are. You know, it doesn't matter if you're on the road testing or at the shop. They always stay busy. They're always worked pretty hard, and I don't think that that testing is you know, really going to change you know, how hard they work or how much they work. I don't think they'll get wore out, I guess is what I'm saying, because they work pretty hard regardless of testing or not.
Other questions for Martin? All right, Martin, thanks for coming in. We wish you a lot of luck here this weekend at Pocono.
Thank you.